The very instant the blood-red moon rises into the heavens, the entire ancient battlefield of trials is submerged in a heavy crimson glow. Every person present, no matter where they stand within the vast arena, instinctively lifts their gaze and looks toward the sky. The individuals spread throughout the distant trial grounds are completely shocked upon witnessing the scarlet moon. Confusion spreads among them as they whisper to one another, struggling to comprehend what this mysterious celestial body could be. Gradually, more voices join in, questioning why such a dreadful red moon has suddenly appeared above them. At the same moment, the demons and countless beasts roaming within the trial domain are just as disturbed and uneasy when they notice the crimson moon. Panic fills their voices as they mutter among themselves, attempting to figure out what this phenomenon is and what force could have brought it into existence. Meanwhile, on the side where our protagonist stands, the blood-red moon is clearly visible right before him. In that very moment, the status of the windflower blood moon displays itself in front of his eyes. Its level has now climbed to 90. Its strength has escalated to 1.5 million, while both its agility and spirit have surged to 1 million, and its life force has expanded to a terrifying 2.5 million. It has also acquired horrifying new abilities, including Endless Pollen Assault and Petal Devour. Furthermore, it carries unique traits such as Storm Armor, absolute immunity against wind element attacks, and most terrifying of all, accelerated regeneration. After examining these overwhelming attributes, Lin Moyo grows slightly uneasy and, with a trace of dread, murmurs, "This aura, that crimson moon, it's definitely no ordinary entity." Then, raising his eyes toward the sky, he commands his Skeleton King to destroy it. Upon receiving the order, the Skeleton King immediately draws his massive blade and activates the god-slaying technique, releasing a devastating slash that tears through the air toward the crimson moon. The attack speeds forward and collides with the moon, leaving behind a faint gash at the point of impact. The crimson moon does indeed suffer a small amount of damage. However, at that very instant, flower petals begin rising upward from below. They converge around the wounded area and start restoring it. Seeing this, Lin Moyo reacts in astonishment and says, "So this is its rapid regeneration ability." Right at that moment, fine crimson pollen particles begin dispersing from the moon and float toward Lin Moyo, enclosing him from all directions. Noticing this, he becomes slightly alarmed and says, "This is pollen. This is bad." The very moment the drifting pollen encloses Lin Moyo from every side, the blood moon instantly triggers its endless pollen detonation ability. Each microscopic particle explodes with fierce intensity, locking Lin Moyo within a continuous chain of violent blasts that strike him head-on. The barrage persists relentlessly, one explosion following another without any pause. Amidst this unceasing storm of detonations aimed at Lin Moyo, the blood moon entity simultaneously releases innumerable petals toward the headless horseman skeletons stationed far away. The petals swirl through the air in spiraling patterns before slowly descending toward the ground beneath them. Yet, the instant those petals touch the surface, they behave differently this time and do not explode. Instead, thick roots begin to sprout from them, expanding outward at an alarming rate. Witnessing this unexpected change, Lin Moyo lets out a cry of shock. They didn't detonate. Instead, they took root and started to grow. In that precise moment, massive roots burst forth with incredible speed, racing toward Lin Moyo's headless horsemen, wrapping tightly around them and crushing them entirely. The roots coil around the headless horseman and immediately activate an ability known as Petal Devour, siphoning away their power through the entangling vines. Seeing this unfold, Lin Moyo, completely stunned, shouts, "The power of the headless horseman is being drained. This is the force of laws." Meanwhile, back at Lin Moyo's position, the series of explosions finally subsides. However, he has endured severe damage from the assault, his body now covered in injuries. After observing the combat methods of the blood moon entity, he feels deeply shaken, astonished, and unsettled as he says, "The force of laws. It is something usually encountered only at the pinnacle of level 95. Yet this wind flower is merely at level 90. How can it possibly wield such power? Could there be something abnormal about this blood moon?" While these thoughts race through his mind, Lin Moyo immediately activates the strong soldier ability and declares with determination, "Then we will attempt to crush it through sheer strength." The moment he activates the strong soldier ability, its effect takes hold, causing the Skeleton King to feel an overwhelming surge of power coursing through it. And once again, it releases the God-slaying slash technique. This time, the attack produced by the God-slaying ability is far more powerful than before, surging forward toward the Blood Moon with astonishing speed and destructive force. At that exact instant, enormous roots erupt from beneath the earth, tearing through stone and soil alike as they surge upward. With unstoppable force, rapidly spreading in all directions as they begin to envelop the Blood Moon in a tightening cage of living wood. The thick, ancient roots coil tightly around it from every direction, layer upon layer reinforcing one another, sealing every gap as if determined to suffocate its ominous glow and shield the world from its influence entirely. But in the very next moment, as the Skeleton King's devastating strike descends with overwhelming power, it cleaves through those roots as though they were nothing, the impact echoing across the battlefield as it hits the Blood Moon head-on and shatters it into countless fragments. Witnessing this, Lin Moyo finally lets out a relieved breath and says, "This time, it worked." Yet that relief lasts only an instant. His expression turns grave, eyes sharpening with urgency as he swiftly activates the Undead Gaze skill and commands in a cold, decisive tone. Before it can regenerate, destroy it completely. The moment Undead Gaze is triggered, the ground trembles violently, and a towering structure formed entirely of seething undead energy rises up from the depths, exuding a chilling aura that seems to drain the very life from its surroundings. Its massive doors swing open instantly with a thunderous creak, and as a colossal eye manifests within the darkness, it locks onto its target and unleashes Soul Flame without the slightest hesitation. The Soul Flame surges forward like a raging tide of spectral fire, swallowing the already fractured Blood Moon whole, its eerie light flickering as the flames consume it and prevent any chance of restoration. Under the relentless effect of the Soul Flame, the tiny scattered petals tremble and struggle desperately to repair it. Observing this stubborn resistance, Lin Moyo narrows his eyes and mutters under his breath, still trying to regenerate. Though the small petals persist, inching forward with eerie determination as they attempt to rebuild what was lost. Lin Moyo glares at them coldly, his voice filled with finality as he says, "Don't even try." Without a moment's hesitation, he reaches into his inventory, pulls out a bone spear pulsing with dark energy, and declares with unwavering resolve, "I'll end this now." Then, without the slightest pause, he hurls the bone spear straight toward the fractured Blood Moon, his movement swift and decisive. The bone spear shoots ahead like a streak of destruction, obliterating every petal in its path before crashing into the Blood Moon itself, piercing through it and leaving nothing intact as it continues forward. At that exact instant, from below, the Skeleton King unleashes the Elemental Riot skill, releasing a terrifying surge of elemental power that rushes upward with incredible velocity. The attack slams directly into the Blood Moon, triggering a massive explosion. The sheer force of the blast ripples across the entire battlefield, shaking everything violently, and in a single overwhelming moment, the Blood Moon is utterly annihilated. The instant the Blood Moon is destroyed, a system notification appears before Lin Moyo. After defeating the Windflower Blood Moon, he gains an enormous reward of 12 million experience points. In addition, he receives several rare items: the Windflower Heart, the Windflower Essence, and Windflower Seeds. The Windflower Heart is a legendary grade material capable of crafting powerful legendary weapons. The Windflower Essence is another rare resource used to enhance equipment, even upgrading it to boss tier quality. The Windflower Seeds, meanwhile, can be cultivated to grow a windflower with mysterious and potent abilities. With the battle concluded, Lin Moyo advances toward the site where the explosion occurred. A massive crater has formed at the location, and at its center lies a single item. The moment his eyes land on it, he speaks calmly, "Got it." The object is the Blood God Disc, a mythical grade weapon once wielded by the Blood God. As Lin Moyo picks it up, he mutters in astonishment. So it truly was the weapon of the blood-devouring god. No wonder it could tap into a fragment of the devouring law. If that Blood Moon had been any stronger, it might have devoured my attacks entirely. In that case, defeating it would have been impossible. He then swiftly stores the disc in his inventory and says, "Still, this weapon isn't particularly useful for me. It might suit Teacher Mang Anwen better." After wrapping up everything at the battlefield, Lin Moyo immediately activates his skeleton wings. In an instant, he soars into the sky at top speed, moving forward as he declares, "Time to search for the next place to level up." Some time after his departure, both the demons and the dragon warriors arrive at the battlefield. Upon seeing the devastation and the lingering traces of the fight, they are left completely stunned. One of them remarks, "This residual aura, it's from a god-level battle." Another adds in disbelief, "Since when did the ancient trial grounds produce someone this powerful?" At that moment, another creature speaks up. "This isn't the aura of our demon race. Could it be a human?" Hearing this, the others respond with caution. "We should stay hidden for now. No one should act recklessly or reveal themselves anytime soon." Meanwhile, Lin Moyo continues rushing forward at full speed through the ancient trial grounds, heading deeper into unknown territory. Ahead of him, powerful bolts of thunder crash down from the sky without end. Observing the scene, he says, "I've reached this domain of the Thunder Tree race. The Thunder Tree and the Windflower. They must be the most iconic creatures of the Wind-Thunder continent." At that moment, his attention is drawn to a formidable tree-like monster, surrounded by constant arcs of lightning striking from above and crackling around its body. Staring at it, he says, "That must be the Thunder Tree King." Coming to a halt, he raises his hand slightly and evaluates it, saying, "Its aura is powerful, but it hasn't reached the god level yet. I'll use it to push myself to level 73. Without delaying any further, he summons his skeleton army. Countless skeletons appear across the battlefield, and immediately after, he calls forth the Skeleton King as well. The moment the Skeleton King is summoned, the surrounding skeleton army begins to dissolve into streams of elemental particles, all of them converging toward a single point. Those countless particles gather together and rapidly take shape, reconstructing the Skeleton King piece by piece. Within moments, its full form is restored. As soon as it manifests, gripping its massive sword firmly, it steps forward and positions itself directly before the Thunder Tree King, adopting a ready stance for battle. At the exact moment our main character summons the Skeleton King into combat, a massive flock of level 75 Thunder Eagles suddenly fills the sky. They move in tight formations, screeching sharply as they dive straight toward him. Ignoring the Skeleton King entirely, the Thunder Eagles rush past it and focus solely on Lin Moyo, unleashing ranged lightning attacks from a distance. Endless streaks of lightning surge forward at blinding speed, crashing into his body. However, every single strike passes right through him from all directions, leaving him completely untouched. As the assault continues, system notifications repeatedly appear beside him, confirming immunity to lightning damage. 6 or 7 alerts flash continuously with each hit, without stopping. Clearly annoyed by the overwhelming number of Thunder Eagles in his path, Lin Moyo frowns and mutters, "This is seriously starting to irritate me." In his frustration, he summons bone spears and launches them toward the enemies. A dense barrage of bone spears tears through the sky, piercing directly through the Thunder Eagles. Each spear destroys everything in its path and continues forward without losing momentum. Meanwhile, the Skeleton King unleashes an elemental riot attack at the Thunder Tree King. A concentrated wave of energy shoots forward at incredible speed, aimed precisely at its target. The Thunder Tree King, previously distracted, suddenly senses the incoming threat and reacts instantly, releasing a powerful lightning attack in defense. Its thunder attack collides directly with the Skeleton King's elemental riot. The impact produces a massive explosion of lightning energy that spreads across the entire battlefield, engulfing everything in its range. The area becomes completely saturated with thunder. Even Lin Moyo is repeatedly struck by the storm, yet immunity notifications continue appearing without interruption. Feeling the constant impacts, he remarks, "Without a healer above level 80, no one would survive this." It becomes obvious why this place is called the Wind-Thunder Continent. Amid the chaos of the lightning storm, all the thunder trees in the area awaken and begin charging toward Lin Moyo at high speed. These Thunder Tree Guardians are enhanced elite monsters at level 85. Their strength reaches 700,000, agility and spirit are both at 500,000, and their constitution is 1 million. They possess abilities like lightning absorption, sea of lightning, and root entanglement. After spotting the Skeleton King, they move together and simultaneously activate root entanglement. Thick roots surge forward in massive waves, attempting to bind it. Watching from a distance, Lin Moyo immediately activates the strong soldier ability and says, "With this boost, the Skeleton King should be able to eliminate them instantly." As the ability takes effect, the Skeleton King is empowered with immense strength. Raising its weapon, it effortlessly slices through the incoming roots. While cutting through everything ahead, it unleashes the god-slaying skill toward the Thunder Tree Guardians. The attack surges forward, splitting the Guardians cleanly in half and destroying them completely. The battle escalates to an intense level. Lightning floods every corner of the battlefield, striking relentlessly. The Skeleton King continues advancing, cutting down every Guardian tree in its path. At the same time, the remaining Guardians unleash continuous thunder attacks to stop it. Despite their efforts, it does not slow down, pushing forward and destroying everything with its blade. All the Guardians focus entirely on halting its progress. Watching the situation unfold, while still being struck by lightning, Lin Moyo mutters, "Still holding back? Then I'll push you a little." He immediately gives the order, "Skeleton King, destroy this entire thunder forest." Upon receiving the command, the Skeleton King intensifies its assault, continuing its relentless rampage. At that moment, Lin Moyo notices a large cluster of fallen tree monster corpses gathered in one area. Raising his hand, he instantly activates Corpse Explosion without hesitation. As soon as the skill is triggered, explosions erupt across the battlefield. One blast follows another, spreading rapidly in all directions. Wounded monsters caught in the explosions are completely wiped out. The entire forest is consumed by fire and destruction as the explosions chain endlessly. Watching the devastation, Lin Moyo smiles and says, "This place is perfect for this skill. The experience gain will be enormous." The chain explosions eliminate nearly all the Guardian Tree monsters and reach the Thunder Tree King. As it becomes caught in the blasts, it lets out a loud roar, releasing a powerful surge of lightning while sending massive roots forward to block the incoming explosions. Immediately after, its attributes appear before Lin Moyo. The Thunder Tree King is revealed to be a level 89 world boss. Its strength is 1,200,000, agility 1 million, spirit 1,200,000, and constitution 2 million. Its abilities include lightning, immunity, thunder strike, and root entanglement. The Thunder Tree King locks onto Lin Moyo and fires a thin bolt of lightning from its forehead. Lin Moyo dodges and mutters, "It still hasn't realized lightning has no effect on me." But in the next moment, that thin bolt suddenly reappears and strikes directly at his forehead. The instant it connects, a powerful shock spreads through his entire body. This attack directly targets his soul within his spiritual realm. A violent tremor shakes his inner world. Holding his head, he gasps, "That's not right, that was a soul attack." Another surge of lightning forms inside his spiritual space, moving toward his soul to strike again. At that critical moment, the dragon soul crystal within him activates, radiating a bright light. It absorbs the incoming lightning, preventing any damage to his soul. Realizing what happened, Lin Moyo smiles faintly and says, "I didn't expect the dragon soul crystal to protect the soul too. I underestimated it." His expression turns serious as he activates Undead Gaze and declares, "A soul attack? I can return it." An undead tower rises from the ground, its gates opening as a massive eye appears. The moment it emerges, it releases Soul Flame. The Soul Flame surges forward, engulfing the Thunder Tree King and burning its soul, dealing continuous damage. After launching the attack, Lin Moyo senses something unusual. Frowning, he mutters, "Something's wrong. Why isn't it escaping underground like the others?" Suddenly, he notices a change, and his expression stiffens. Lightning once again begins striking from the sky, gathering and converging toward the Thunder Tree King. The creature, which had been struggling against the soul flame, suddenly stabilizes. It growls, drives its roots deep into the earth, and continues digging relentlessly. From beneath the ground where its roots are tearing through, a dark purple energy begins to emerge. The moment Lin Moyo senses it, he is visibly shaken. This is the power of laws. The dark purple energy spreads rapidly around the Thunder Tree King. Its massive body starts shrinking, while the ground beneath it cracks violently. Lin Moyo stares and says, "Something underground is about to come out. Something controlling the power of laws. This level, at least level 95. No, level 96. Darkness suddenly covers the entire area. Within that darkness, two glowing eyes appear, rising from beneath the ground where the Thunder Tree King once stood. In the next instant, a massive form begins emerging from below, revealing itself piece by piece. A gigantic golden claw slowly comes into view, immense and terrifying. As it rises, it continuously releases overwhelming thunder energy. Feeling the immense pressure, Lin Moyo trembles slightly and says, "What is that thing?" At that exact moment, the claw stretches forward, its sharp nails extending toward him, filling the surroundings with crushing and suffocating pressure. The very instant, a colossal golden talon erupted violently from beneath the earth. Its arrival alone sent a shockwave that reshaped everything around it. The force of its emergence distorted the surroundings completely. That enormous claw loomed right before the protagonist, making Lin Moyu appear utterly insignificant in comparison to its overwhelming size. The second it manifested, the entire atmosphere shifted dramatically. Furious cyclone-like winds spiraled across the sky, while bolts of lightning rained down relentlessly throughout the region. One devastating strike descended directly onto one of Lin Moyu's headless horsemen. Upon impact, the creature didn't even have time to react. It was obliterated instantly, shattered beyond recovery. At that exact moment, Lin Moyu received a system notification confirming that his headless horseman had been completely destroyed. Standing frozen in place and witnessing the horrifying might carried within that thunder, Lin Moyu felt a surge of shock mixed with deep unease. Such destructive power was beyond anything he had anticipated. To eliminate a headless horseman in a single strike, this was no ordinary force. As he faced the terrifying presence of the gigantic claw, a growing sense of danger crept into Lin Moyu's mind. He immediately understood that he was confronting something far beyond a typical enemy. Without allowing himself even a moment of hesitation, he swiftly retrieved the poison god's blood essence from his inventory. With urgency, he hurled it forward toward the massive claw with all his strength and called out, "Let's test it. Use the poison god's blood essence to stop it." The toxic substance shot forward at extreme speed, erupting into a dense cloud of venom that quickly engulfed the claw entirely. As the thick poisonous mist surrounded it, the corrosion process began, and the claw appeared to start dissolving under the effect of the toxin. However, this only lasted for a brief moment. Soon, the outline of the claw re-emerged from within the gas, and it began advancing again, as if nothing had happened. Witnessing this, Lin Moyu was left completely stunned. The poison, it's been neutralized. Even the laws themselves are breaking apart. In the next instant, the claw tore through the poisonous cloud effortlessly, dispersing it as though it held no power at all. It then appeared directly above Lin Moyu, dominating the sky. The moment it hovered overhead, it unleashed a relentless storm of thunderous attacks, each strike crashing down with terrifying force as the claw itself began descending rapidly from above. The lightning bolts slammed into Lin Moyu's body one after another. But the instant he saw the massive claw dropping toward him, panic surged through him. Without delay, he shouted desperately, "Teleport Shanxia Ancient City." At the precise moment those words left his mouth, the gigantic claw smashed down at full speed onto the exact spot where Lin Moyu had been standing just a fraction of a second earlier. The impact was catastrophic. The ground shattered, and the surrounding area was completely annihilated, leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. After unleashing that catastrophic strike, the enormous claw gradually lifted back into the air. However, Lin Moyu had already vanished from that location. Noticing his disappearance, the mysterious entity clenched its claw tightly, its fury clearly rising. At that very moment, Deep within the gigantic crater left behind by the impact, a vast golden eye slowly revealed itself. Standing beside it was the Thunder Tree King, now in a withered and weakened state. The golden eye radiated an intense, burning anger that filled the surroundings with a terrifying presence. The scene then transitions directly to Shanxia Ancient City, the place where Lin Moyu had teleported. The instant he arrived, his expression still carried traces of shock from the encounter. Taking a breath, Lin Moyu spoke to himself. Good thing I earned the acknowledgement of the ancient city and the ancient thunder tower earlier. Because of that, I can teleport here from the lower realm regardless of the distance. That creature shouldn't be able to track me down, right? I never imagined that beneath the wind thunder continent, such a horrifying being could exist. Meanwhile, far away at the original battlefield, that massive golden eye began emitting a surge of dark, overwhelming energy. In response, the colossal claw burst out from the ground once again, crackling with intense thunder power. As this unfolded, the Thunder Tree King slowly started to regain its former state. The land that had previously been reduced to a massive crater during the clash began restoring itself piece by piece until it returned completely to normal. With the recovery of the Thunder Tree King, powerful lightning once again began striking in its vicinity, and soon the entire region settled back into its original calmness, as though the battle had never taken place. Back on Lin Moyu's side, he had already arrived at the teleportation area. After activating the teleportation formation, he spoke with a hint of regret. What a shame I couldn't defeat the Tree King. If I had, I would have gained a level. Well, no matter. I'll use this opportunity to return to the meteorite continent and continue searching for the Origin's secret realm. As the teleportation process activated, Lin Moyu's body was slowly drawn away from his original position, fading out, as the surrounding space distorted and shifted around him. In the blink of an eye, once he had traversed the teleportation passage, Lin Moyu emerged directly within the vast expanse known as the Sea of Stars. The instant he materialized, he did not hesitate in the slightest. Without wasting even a fraction of time, he summoned his skeletal wings and burst forward at astonishing speed. He streaked across the boundless ocean, cutting through the air like a blade, maintaining an unbroken momentum as he continued flying forward with unwavering determination. While soaring ahead, he activated the imprint of his primordial rune and spoke in a calm but focused tone. If I want to find the origin, secret realm within this enormous meteorite continent, the only viable approach is to depend on the resonance of the primordial rune. After flying for quite a long duration, he finally spotted a stretch of land appearing faintly in the distance ahead. Observing this, he murmured, "Land. It seems that the Origin's secret realm isn't hidden within the Sea of Stars after all." Without slowing down even slightly, Lin Moyu continued onward, crossing onto the landmass at high speed. As he advanced further, streaks of meteorites began falling from the sky around him, creating a dramatic and chaotic scene. All at once, the symbol in his hand reacted. The primordial rune began to vibrate and release a clear resonant signal. Sensing this sudden response, Lin Moyu's eyes brightened as he exclaimed with excitement, "The primordial rune is reacting." Without any delay, he immediately accelerated toward the direction indicated by the rune's resonance. As he approached the source of the reaction, he noticed that there was already a figure standing on the ground below. Realizing that someone had arrived ahead of him, when Lin Moyu looked more closely, he saw that the person was also holding a primordial rune symbol in his hand. This discovery caused a hint of astonishment to flash across his mind. This individual also possessed a primordial rune. At the same moment, the man standing below lifted his head and looked up toward Lin Moyu in the sky, equally taken aback. Through the resonance of his own rune, he had already sensed Lin Moyu's presence before seeing him. The moment his gaze fell upon Lin Moyu, and he noticed the rune, shock surged through his thoughts as he said to himself, "A human. Wait, he actually holds 2 primordial runes." Across the entire span of human history, only an extremely rare few had ever managed to control 2 primordial runes at the same time and still survive. Shortly afterward, Lin Moyu descends and lands right beside the man. The instant the man notices him, He offers a warm greeting, saying, "Greeting, brother." He then introduces himself. "I am Tang Sheng, currently at level 86. Hearing this, Lin Moyu responds with a composed smile. "My name is Lin Moyu, level 72. The moment Tang Sheng hears that Lin Moyu is only level 72, a look of clear shock appears on his face. Level 72, yet he dares to venture alone into the lower realm. No wonder he was able to acquire 2 primordial runes. Then Tang Sheng chuckles and, with a friendly expression, asks, "Little brother, I can see you possess a primordial rune. Have you come here in search of the Origin's secret realm as well?" Lin Moyu calmly answers, "Yes, senior. You are here for the same purpose too, correct?" Tang Sheng nods while smiling and says, "That's right. I've been roaming this place for several days already, but I still couldn't bring myself to step inside. And you?" At that moment, Lin Moyu's expression turns serious, as he replies with firm resolve, "If I obtain it, then it is my fortune. If I fail, then it is simply my fate. For certain things, giving it everything you have is enough. There is no reason to hesitate or look back." Upon hearing these words, Tang Sheng is momentarily stunned. He quietly repeats them under his breath. "If I obtain it, it is my fortune. If I fail, it is my fate." Soon after, a spark of realization lights up within him, and with renewed excitement he says, "You're absolutely right. I've already made it this far, why should I hesitate or restrain myself any longer?" He continues, filled with admiration, "I truly didn't expect that just a single sentence from you, Brother Lin, would completely clear my mind." As he draws out his massive sword, he steps forward and moves toward the portal, saying, "I was overthinking things far too much. Only one individual can enter the secret realm at a time. Brother Lin, I will go first." Lin Moyu smiles faintly and replies, "Senior, I wish you success. I will remain here and wait for you." With that, Tang Sheng disappears into the portal, while Lin Moyu calmly sits down in front of it. Time passes, and half a day goes by. After those several hours, Tang Sheng emerges once more from the portal. Upon seeing Lin Moyu, he greets him again. Lin Moyu smiles and asks, "Senior, did you succeed?" Tang Sheng lets out a hearty laugh and says, "Of course I failed, but that was already expected. Those capable of clearing the Origin's secret realm are exceedingly rare. Still, after this experience, I can now return and focus wholeheartedly on breaking through to the God level without any lingering doubts." He then walks closer, places his hand on Lin Moyu's shoulder, and speaks sincerely, "Brother Lin, I truly wish you success." Hearing this, Lin Moyu expresses his thanks. As Tang Sheng prepares to depart, he smiles and says, "Brother Lin, when we meet again in the human world, I'll treat you to a drink." After saying that, he soars into the sky at great speed and soon vanishes into the distance. Watching him leave, Lin Moyu rises to his feet with confidence and says, "Now, it's my turn." As soon as he finishes speaking, he walks straight toward the portal and steps inside without hesitation. The instant he passes through, a strange sense of familiarity washes over him, and he murmurs, "This secret realm feels oddly familiar. It is similar to the sole secret realm of the gods." Passing directly through the gateway, the main character steps into a domain overflowing with ancient, primal ruins. The instant he enters, he pauses and carefully observes everything around him, quietly sensing the energy lingering in the atmosphere before finally speaking. "I see now. The deity of righteousness must have once ventured into the Origin's secret realm, which explains how he was able to forge a comparable soul secret realm." Before long, his gaze locks onto a modest wooden cabin in the distance. Lin Moyo slowly makes his way toward it, studying its structure in detail, while also perceiving the profound, time-worn aura that surrounds it. As he continues examining the area, he murmurs under his breath, "This entire place is filled with an ancient presence that feels incredibly old." The moment he steps inside the cabin, his attention is immediately drawn to a stone placed at the very center, upon which a palm-shaped imprint has been carved. As soon as his eyes focus on it, a trace of puzzlement crosses his face. He leans in for a closer look, verifying that what he is seeing is indeed the imprint of a palm. He continues analyzing it for some time, and when he eventually places his own hand over the imprint, a sudden surge of golden energy erupts from the stone, spiraling rapidly around his body. Witnessing this force encircle him, Lin Moyo is startled and exclaims, This is the power of laws." The energy swiftly engulfs him entirely, and in an instant, Lin Moyo is transported into a bizarre and unfamiliar space. After arriving, he cautiously surveys his surroundings and says, "Where exactly has this palm imprint brought me?" While remaining alert and carefully scanning the area, he suddenly becomes aware of countless dark, warrior-like figures in the distance. Each one is completely pitch black, and their mere presence immediately puts Lin Moyo on edge, filling him with deep shock and vigilance. At that moment, his attention is suddenly captured by a dazzling blue glow. Within that radiance, there appears to be a bowl, and seated upon it is a mysterious figure. Beside it, luminous blue words manifest, and the seated figure continuously chants them. The distant stone rune, "Act without acting. The highest virtue is like water, nurturing all things without contention. The Tao gives rise to one. One gives rise to two. Two gives rise to three. And three gives rise to all existence." As these words echo over and over again, the figure abruptly surges forward with astonishing speed, obliterating every shadowy black warrior standing in its path. At that very instant, the primordial rune engraved in Lin Moyo's hand begins to shake intensely, vibrating with an uncontrollable force. Witnessing this sudden reaction, Lin Moyo's expression changes as he says in astonishment, "My primordial rune, it's responding." Still confined within this mysterious and unfamiliar dimension, he keeps watching everything around him with heightened caution, trying to understand what is happening. All of a sudden, a radiant golden beam descends from above, and the moment it touches his body, his level rises twice in a flash. Feeling the overwhelming surge of strength coursing through him, and realizing that he has advanced 2 levels in a single moment, Lin Moyo exclaims in disbelief, "What incredible power! I leveled up twice instantly." At that very moment, a system interface appears before his eyes, showing his name, Lin Moyo, along with his current level, which has now reached 74. His attributes strength, agility, spirit, and constitution are all clearly displayed. While Lin Moyo is still immersed in amazement, sensing the newfound power within himself, the surrounding black shadow figures suddenly begin rushing toward him, closing in from every direction. Seeing this, he reacts in surprise and says, "They're all coming straight at me." Fixing his gaze on them, he attempts to activate his summoning ability, but quickly realizes that none of his skills can be used in this place. Without hesitation, he shifts into a combat stance and declares, "So my summoning abilities are sealed here. Looks like I'll have to depend entirely on my own strength to get through this trial." Immediately after, he activates the gathering force ability of the primordial rune, increasing his strength, agility, constitution, and spirit by 1,000,000 points each. The instant the enhancement takes effect, he calls forth his scythe and charges forward at maximum speed toward the approaching shadows. Using his rush forward technique, he dashes ahead and proclaims, "In this enhanced state, I can utilize all the abilities of my summons." As soon as he reaches the shadows, he delivers a swift strike to one of them and moves past it without stopping. Coming to a halt a short distance away, he turns around to face them again and says with confidence, "I'll deal with them one at a time." As his words fade, Lin Moyo lifts his scythe and activates the violent blast ability. He charges forward once more, closing the gap, and striking another shadow with a powerful slash. The shadow warrior, noticing the incoming attack, attempts to defend itself, but the moment the blow lands, it is completely annihilated. Afterward, Lin Moyo shifts his focus to the remaining shadows and activates the elemental riot ability. As soon as the power forms, he unleashes it toward them. When it reaches the shadows, it collides and erupts into a series of violent explosions. Within seconds, every shadow that had surrounded him is entirely eradicated. After eliminating them all, Lin Moyo's expression turned serious as he says in blank, "There's no way the trial of the origin secret realm is this easy. Otherwise, Senior Tang Sheng wouldn't have failed. There must be more another wave, maybe even a third wave of enemies." Just as he finishes speaking, countless shadow warriors begin manifesting before him once again. Many of them are mounted on horses, wielding massive swords and long spears, standing in disciplined formation. Seeing this, Lin Moyo says, "They've arrived." In the next moment, all the shadows attack simultaneously, charging toward Lin Moyo at full speed. Their formation, an attack pattern mirror exactly the technique Lin Moyo had used earlier. Observing this, Lin Moyo is taken aback and says, "These guys, they're using the same rushing technique I just used." One shadow closes in and attempts to strike him. But Lin Moyo raises his scythe, blocks the attack, and instantly counterattacks, saying, "Good. It looks like they've only mastered this one skill. That makes things simpler." Immediately after, activating the god-slaying ability, Lin Moyo charges forward and begins cutting down the incoming shadow warriors one after another. Continuously utilizing the god-slaying ability, he eliminates each shadow that rushes toward him without pause. As he fights, he murmurs to himself, "Each time I destroy these shadows, the duration of my rune abilities extends." So this is the mechanism of the origin secret realm. He continues his relentless assault, wiping out the entire wave of shadow warriors without leaving any behind. After clearing them all, Lin Moyo exhales heavily and says, "Finally finished. I wonder what kind of enemies will appear in the next round." At that moment, shadows begin gathering again, forming new warrior figures. Watching them take shape, Lin Moyo says, "They're coming again." Suddenly, the shadows begin shifting into a familiar form. They transform into figures identical to Lin Moyo himself. 3 or 4 replicas appear, each looking exactly like him, and each wielding a scythe. Seeing this, Lin Moyo says in shock, "They're copying me, even my weapon." Without delay, those shadow replicas charge at him simultaneously. One activates the god-slaying ability, another uses the rushing technique, while another unleashes elemental riot. They perfectly replicate Lin Moyo's abilities and attack him using the same techniques. Watching them mimic not only his skills, but also his fighting style, Lin Moyo grows tense and mutters, "As I expected, they're not just copying my abilities, they're replicating my combat style as well." The 3 shadow clones close in and attack at the same time. Lin Moyo quickly evades and steps backward to create distance. Staring at them, he says, "I never thought dealing with myself would be this troublesome." After launching their attacks, the shadows fix their gaze on him, preparing for the next move. At that moment, Lin Moyo activates his soul flame and declares, "What I possess goes far beyond this. Even if you can copy my attributes and skills, you cannot replicate my divine power, my Shenju cauldron." The instant the soul flame ignites, he summons a bone spear without hesitation. Gripping it tightly, he continues forward and hurls it toward the shadows with force. "You imitations, be destroyed." The bone spear pierces straight through one shadow, instantly obliterating it. At the same time, Lin Moyo swiftly moves behind another shadow and strikes, destroying it in a single blow. He presses the attack, eliminating the remaining shadows one after another without giving them a chance to recover. In the end, only one shadow remains, standing before him in a battle-ready stance. Seeing it, Lin Moyo's expression becomes completely serious as he says, "Now, you're the last one left." The last surviving shadow had already prepared to unleash an elemental riot against Lin Moyo. The instant the technique took shape, it wasted no time and launched the attack straight at him, as if driven by a final, desperate resolve to end the battle in a single decisive blow. The strike surged ahead with overwhelming velocity and collided directly with the protagonist, triggering a violent explosion that sent dust and debris swirling through the surroundings, shaking the very space around them and echoing like thunder across the void. As the haze gradually settled, Lin was revealed to have already activated his bone armor, successfully shielding himself from the impact. Fine cracks traced across the surface of the armor, yet it held firm. Gazing steadily at the shadow, he spoke with composure, saying that simply imitating his appearance was far from enough to bring about his defeat. His voice calm, but carrying an unmistakable edge of confidence. Firmly gripping the bone spear within his grasp, he sprang into action without hesitation, his movement swift and decisive, leaving behind a faint afterimage as his figure cut through the lingering dust. In the blink of an eye, he closed the distance, appearing right before the remaining shadow, and with a powerful strike, he shattered it completely. The impact released a sharp burst of energy, scattering fragments of shadow like shattered glass before they dissolved into nothingness. With a grave expression and a serious tone, he wondered aloud whether this marked the final phase of the trial, adding that if the shadow of that old man were to emerge next, he would certainly stand no chance against it. A hint of caution flickered in his eyes, betraying the weight of the challenge he anticipated. As these thoughts left his lips, his attention was abruptly drawn upward by a sudden glow of light appearing above him, piercing through the dim, empty expanse like a beacon from another realm. Raising his head, the main character witnessed an enormous bird soaring across the vast expanse of space, moving at an astonishing speed that defied belief. Its wings stretched endlessly, each beat distorting the air around it, as though it commanded the very laws of motion. Astonished by what he was seeing, he exclaimed in disbelief that it was a bird, realizing that living beings actually existed within this mysterious space. The revelation struck him deeply, hinting that this place was far more complex and far more dangerous than he had imagined. The massive creature showed no sign of acknowledging his presence and continued its flight deeper into the endless void. Watching it fade from sight, Lin quietly murmured that he had no way of knowing how distant it truly was, nor could he begin to comprehend the true scale of its immense size. For a brief moment, he felt a rare sense of insignificance, standing alone in a world that stretched far beyond his understanding. Still lost in confusion, a single drop of blood abruptly manifested right in front of him. It emitted an intense aura of power and gleamed with a radiant brilliance. Staring at it, the protagonist spoke with uncertainty, uttering in puzzlement that it was blood. In the next instant, that droplet burst into a blinding glow and diffused throughout the space around him. As it spread outward, it fused seamlessly into his body, and the very moment it entered him, the primordial rune held in his hand began to heat up intensely. A sharp wave of pain surged through his hand, as if it were being burned by scorching flames, and Lin spoke with unease, saying that the primordial rune was growing hotter and hotter, questioning what kind of blood essence this truly was, while his sense of confusion deepened even further. Without warning, a surge of brilliant light erupted from his hand and shot into the surrounding space. The entire area became illuminated with a crimson glow, and almost instantly, a notification materialized before him, stating that the gathering force skill had advanced, that gathering force consumes soul power, gathers the strength of summons, inherits every summon ability, and that after activation the attributes are restricted only by the user's soul level, while in the gathering force state defeating enemies enables the absorption of their souls, restoring consumed soul power and elevating the soul level. After a brief period, everything slowly returned to normal. As the energy fluctuations faded away, the enigmatic blue old warrior, seated upon the bowl, the very same figure Lin Moyu had encountered upon first arriving in this mysterious realm, appeared once more before him and greeted him calmly as a little one. Upon hearing his voice, Lin immediately lowered himself in a respectful bow and introduced himself formally as Junior Lin Moyu, offering his greetings to the senior. The elder gave a faint smile and responded that there was no need for such formal etiquette, then asked whether he was satisfied with the origin skill. Hearing those words, Lin quietly repeated the term origin skill to himself, then quickly understood that the senior was referring to the enhanced version of gathering force. He then bowed once again and expressed that he was extremely satisfied. After receiving this response, the old warrior's expression turned solemn as he explained that he was aware Lin had many doubts. For instance, the massive bird he had witnessed earlier was merely the phantom of a source bird that bore the bloodline of origin, and that the primordial runes themselves had been formed from its source blood, his words carrying the depth and gravity of ancient truths. Casting his gaze toward the shadows, he went on. In ancient times, innumerable experts from every realm clashed over these 9 primordial abilities. The very stars were drenched in blood. But secrets from such distant ages, knowing too much about them, now brings no benefit. Fixing his eyes on the primordial rune held in Lin's hand, he continued, for your origin skill to evolve into a genuine primordial ability is not beyond possibility, but the difficulty is beyond imagination. Even so, anyone who truly masters a single primordial skill may step into the realm of an invincible supreme existence. Mid-sentence, the elder suddenly sensed something unusual and froze in shock. Staring intently at Lin's rune, he asked with disbelief, "Hold on, child. You possess 2 primordial runes?" His expression shifted completely, filled with astonishment. Lin's face grew solemn as he quickly responded, "Senior, I wish to ask how can I elevate my second primordial rune into an origin skill as well?" Yet the old man offered no reply. He simply stared at Lin, his gaze tense and unsettling, as though wrestling with conflicting thoughts. Noticing that look, Lin thought inwardly, "There's killing intent in this old man. Is it because I want to advance the second rune? But if he were able to kill me, he would have already acted. It must be that the laws of this place are restraining him." After a pause, the elder spoke in a calm voice. "Young man, excessive desire can devour even the strongest. You already hold one origin skill. Do you truly intend to pursue another? Do you understand the danger involved?" Lin answered without the slightest hesitation, "Senior, regardless of the outcome, I will attempt it. If I fall here, it only proves that I lack the strength." Upon hearing this, the old warrior lifted his hand and unleashed a powerful surge of force, declaring, "Since that is your decision, then let the trial begin." Instantly, dark energy converged into a single point, and within moments, the entire area was flooded with shadow warriors. This time, the battlefield was far more horrifying than before. Everywhere within sight was occupied by an endless tide of shadow soldiers. Looking directly at Lin, the elder said, "Survive their assault, if you can." Observing the overwhelming army, Lin analyzed the situation carefully. All of them are level 88 and 89. Their numbers exceed 100,000, and there are even 3 god-level shadow giants. So this is his intention to eliminate me through the trial itself. With that realization, Lin raised his hand and summoned his forces, declaring firmly, "Come forth, my legion. I won't fall so easily." This time, my summoning abilities remain unsealed. On one side stood the boundless army of shadow warriors. On the other, Lin Moyu's vast skeletal legion. The moment the elder witnessed the sheer magnitude of those summons, he was utterly stunned. Cold sweat formed on his forehead. As he muttered, "This child commands an army of such scale." Meanwhile, after calling forth his skeleton troops, Lin immediately activated his powerful soldier-enhancing ability. Following that, he triggered Lick General Legion Enhancement along with Elemental Aura, sending waves of strengthening energy through every summoned unit. With the Elemental Aura in effect, each skeleton warrior awakened elemental attributes: flames, storms, frost, lightning, and poison spread across the entire legion. The army was now fully empowered. Once everything was prepared, Lin issued the command to advance. The skeletal warriors charged forward at full speed, instantly crushing multiple shadow soldiers upon impact, ripping through enemy ranks with terrifying momentum. Witnessing this, the elder was shaken and muttered, "How can this be? How does this boy possess such abilities? Curse these binding laws. Otherwise, I would have erased him myself." However, some of the stronger shadow warriors retaliated, destroying several skeleton troops. At that moment, the true battle began. Right then, Lin lifted his hand once more and said, "This is far from over." Immediately, he summoned the Skeleton King. As the summoning commenced, nearby skeleton warriors transformed into pure elemental energy and gathered toward a single point. Within moments, those converging elemental forces fused together, giving birth to the mighty Skeleton King. The Skeleton King turned its gaze toward the immense army of shadow warriors ahead. Then Lin issued a single command: annihilate them all. Responding to the order, the Skeleton King raised its blade and began channeling the god's slaying skill. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you soon. Drop your predictions in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. The instant the skeletal monarch caught sight of the shadow fighters ahead and heard Lin Moyo order their complete destruction, he drew his blade without hesitation. The air itself seemed to tighten around him, as though anticipating the carnage that would follow, and his hollow gaze burned with an unrelenting will to annihilate. A terrifying burst of power surged forth as he activated the god-slaying technique, delivering a crushing blow toward the shadow warrior in front. The moment it struck, the opponent was utterly wiped out, leaving not even fragments behind, only a fading distortion in space where it once stood. Without delay, the skeletal monarch opened his jaws and began channeling the elemental riot ability. As soon as the technique took shape, the surrounding energy twisted violently, gathering like a storm forced into existence by sheer dominance. He unleashed a massive surge of energy at another shadow warrior ahead. In a single explosive outburst, the enemies beyond were also eradicated, their forms collapsing under the overwhelming force. Like this, the skeletal monarch pressed on, mercilessly eliminating every shadow warrior blocking his path, each step forward marked by destruction. At the same time, the remaining skeletal troops had already stormed into combat. Activating their charge ability, the skeletal cavalry surged forward at top speed, their advance resembling an unstoppable tide of bone and fury. Smashing straight into the formation of shadow warriors, they cut them down ruthlessly. The impact alone shattered enemy lines, while the relentless follow-up strikes ensured no foe could recover or regroup. The skeletal fighters, strengthened by elemental enhancements from the Licht General, were ripping through the shadow warriors before them, their power amplified to terrifying levels that made each attack devastatingly effective. Some called down bolts of lightning to wipe out their foes, the sky itself responding to their summons, while others incinerated the incoming shadow warriors with blazing fire that consumed everything in its path. One after another, each skeletal warrior unleashed unique elemental assaults to destroy the shadow warriors facing them, creating a chaotic symphony of destruction where no two attacks were the same, yet all were equally lethal. Observing everything from a distance, Lin Moyo gave a faint smile and remarked with steady confidence, "The second origin skill trial doesn't appear to be very dangerous after all." His calm demeanor contrasted sharply with the battlefield's chaos, as though he had already foreseen this overwhelming victory. In another part of the battlefield, the aged elder remained utterly motionless, his expression locked in stunned disbelief, as he watched countless shadow warriors vanish one after another. After witnessing Lin Moyo's overwhelming strength, a deep sense of unease crept into his heart. He questioned everything in shock. How could such a scene be possible? What kind of terrifying prodigy was this young man? Could he truly wipe out all 100,000 troops on his own? The elder's rage surged violently, spiraling beyond his control. His fury intensified to such an extent that cracks began to form throughout the battlefield space, as if reality itself could no longer withstand the pressure of his emotions. Catching sight of this, Lin Moyo curled his lips into a faint smirk and spoke in a mocking tone. "Since you can't attack me directly, this must be your only outlet for anger. Looks like I've already passed this stage of the trial. That old man must be seething by now." The instant Lin Moyo finished his words, the primal rune etched in his hand suddenly began to glow, releasing an overwhelming surge of power from deep within. Shortly afterward, a mass of blood-like energy condensed in front of him. The moment he saw it, Lin Moyo spoke with certainty. "Just as expected, it's finally here." As the blood source fused into Lin Moyo's body, An immense surge of power erupted from within him. At the same time, a notification regarding the second primal rune manifested before his eyes. Your strong army ability has evolved. Strong army consumes soul energy and, for 5 minutes, grants both the user and all summoned units a 200% increase to base attributes, while each attack deals an additional 500% damage. The scale of attribute enhancement depends entirely on the user's soul level. While this ability is active, defeating enemies enables the absorption of their souls, replenishing soul energy, and further increasing the user's soul level. Immediately after the primal rune completed its evolution, Lin Moyo felt his body begin to shift as he was automatically pulled out of the combat space. Observing this phenomenon, he muttered in surprise that once the origin rune evolves, the trial itself comes to an end. In the very next instant, Lin Moyo disappeared from the battlefield and reappeared within the secret realm once more. Looking around at his surroundings, he spoke with astonishment. I'm back. This trial has not only upgraded 2 runes, but it has also significantly strengthened my soul. As Lin Moyo continued speaking, a faint scent of tea suddenly reached his senses. Slightly puzzled, he turned his head and thought to himself, that is the aroma of tea. But the very instant he turned his gaze behind him, he noticed an elderly man sitting calmly inside a small hut. Upon seeing him, Lin Moyo immediately began to think deeply and carefully. In that case, this old man. No, something feels off. I cannot sense even the slightest hostility from him. As soon as the old man noticed Lin Moyo, he revealed a gentle and warm smile, then gestured for him to come closer, while saying, "Come here and sit with me. Have a cup of tea." Hearing the senior's invitation, Lin Moyo respectfully lowered his head at once and replied in a humble tone, "It is truly my honor to meet you, senior." After that, accepting the senior's invitation, Lin Moyo stepped into the hut and carefully picked up a cup of tea, preparing to drink it. However, the moment he lifted the cup and took a breath of its fragrance, his entire body froze in shock. He exclaimed in disbelief, "This tea, its aroma is unbelievably rich, and it even seems to nourish and strengthen my soul slightly. Even Teacher Mang Ananunkus tea cannot be compared to this at all." The senior slowly took a sip of tea and spoke in a calm and steady voice to Lin Moyo. "Little one, I already know that your heart is full of doubts and questions. The old man you previously encountered goes by the name Gai Fu. I was the one who assigned him to guard and manage the trial space." After hearing these words, Lin Moyo's expression turned serious as he thought inwardly. So this senior, he is the true supreme existence. Someone who could bury countless experts with nothing more than a casual wave of his hand. I can sense that Ghost Husband has always been trying to imitate this senior. But why would Ghost Husband want to kill me? Then the senior looked directly at Lin Moyo and said calmly, "Since you were able to pass the trial, it proves your capability. As promised, I can answer one question for you." Hearing this, Lin Moyo immediately became extremely serious and asked without hesitation, "Senior, this junior wishes to know, why did Ghost Husband want to kill me?" The moment Lin Moyo finished asking that question, the senior quietly placed his teacup back onto the table, remaining completely silent without giving any response. Confused, Lin Moyo looked at him, unable to understand the sudden silence. But he refrained from pressing further. Instead, he reached for the teapot and slowly refilled the elder's cup with tea. After the cup was filled again, the elder picked it up, took another calm sip, and then spoke with a heavy and deliberate voice. "Since I have already made my promise, I will clear your confusion." He then began to reveal the truth step by step. "You are aware of the connection between origin skills and the blood of the origin bird, are you not? Primal runes, origin skills, and even primordial skills, all of them ultimately trace back to the bloodline of the origin bird. If one only possesses a single origin skill, its impact is limited and not particularly remarkable. However, if multiple origin skills are obtained," his tone deepened as he fixed his eyes on Lin Moyo, continuing, "then there exists a possibility for them to resonate, merge, and eventually trace back toward their ancestral origin. Lin Moyo listened intently, visibly shaken, as the elder continued speaking. To return to the ancestral origin means reconstructing the origin bird's bloodline and reforming the 9 primordial skills once more. However, reality is far more cruel than imagination. Origin skills are merely fragmented remnants of fragments belonging to the origin bird's bloodline. To believe that such incomplete pieces can rebuild the whole is nothing more than wishful thinking and illusion of creation from nothing. The elder's expression remained grave as he went on. Although fully recreating the origin bird's bloodline is impossible, there remains a slim path. With only one origin skill, comprehension is nearly unattainable. But if multiple skills are gathered, Lin Moyo frowned in confusion and asked, "Even so, why would Ghost Husband want to kill me over something that only represents such a faint possibility?" The elder raised 2 fingers calmly and replied, "I have already answered one question. This second one of yours counts as another." Hearing this, Lin Moyo's eyes hardened with resolve as he said firmly, "Since I have already stepped onto this path, there is no turning back. Even if Ghost Husband targets my life, I will only become strong enough that one day he will have no choice but to look up at me." The elder lifted his teacup once again, a faint approving smile forming as he murmured, "You are still someone who can be shaped." In the next instant, he raised his hand slightly. Space distorted violently, and Lin Moyo was instantly transported away from the hut. In the blink of an eye, Lin Moyo was expelled from the secret realm and returned to the meteor continent. He looked around in disbelief and muttered, "I'm back on the meteor continent." After sending him away, the elder turned his gaze into the void and spoke coldly, "Ghost Husband, there are rules in this world not meant for you to exploit so freely. This time, I have only given you a light punishment. If it happens again, you will be reduced to nothing but ashes." The moment his words faded, a violent bolt of lightning descended from the heavens, striking directly at Gui Fu the elder who had once attempted to kill Lin Moyo. After delivering judgment upon Gui Fu, the elder in the hut quietly murmured, "Child, I hope you do not disappoint me." Meanwhile, back on the meteor continent, Lin Moyo fell into deep thought and said, "This journey into the secret realm revealed many ancient truths, but there are still countless mysteries beyond my reach. I wonder if Antair might know something." Without any further hesitation, he took out Antair's dragon scale from his storage. As he prepared to activate it for teleportation, he said decisively, "Thinking endlessly won't help. Instead of guessing, I might as well go and ask him directly." After leaving the meteorite continent, Lin Moyo is abruptly transported, materializing right before Antares. The instant Antares sees him, a trace of astonishment flickers across his face, and he immediately questions why Lin Moyo has come back. Lin Moyo responds by carefully describing everything that has recently occurred on the meteorite continent, as well as inside the hidden secret realm. The moment Antares hears these details, he is utterly shaken and suddenly blurts out, "Hold on, the old man you met within the origin secret realm. What was his name?" Observing such a strong reaction, Lin Moyo becomes slightly confused. He replies that the man's name was Ju, then asks Antares if something is wrong. As soon as the name is spoken, Antares's demeanor turns completely grave. In a low voice, he explains that Ju existed within the assessment space, and that it was originally the place where he belonged. Seeing Antares behave so strangely, Lin Moyo begins to feel a sense of unease. He presses further, asking what exactly is going on, and whether Ju is truly so terrifying. Even as he speaks, Lin Moyo is inwardly stunned, realizing that Antares had never shown such fear even when facing the dragon god. Antares then locks his gaze onto Lin Moyo and says in a heavy tone, "Ju is not terrifying, he is merciless." He continues, stating that compared to the entity Lin Moyo encountered in the pavilion, Ju is actually insignificant. His voice grows even more solemn as he continues, warning Lin Moyo to engrave his words in memory. "Do not speak of it, do not think of it, and do not attempt to investigate it. He explains that the moment someone contemplates that being's form or speaks anything related to it, that alone is enough for the existence to become aware. As Antares says this, a chilling expression spreads across his face. Hearing both the warning and seeing that expression, Lin Moyo silently nods, repeatedly reminding himself, do not speak, do not think, do not ask. After a while, Antares slowly regains his composure and reclines again, speaking in a softer tone as he tells Lin Moyo to stop discussing the origin secret realm and to change the subject. Upon hearing this, Lin Moyo agrees and shifts to another topic, explaining that earlier he had traveled to the Wind Thunder continent to subdue the king of the Thunder Tree. As soon as Lin Moyo brings up this topic, Antares replies instantly, stating that the being beneath the Wind Thunder continent is merely the thunder god's accompanying benevolent spirit. When Lin Moyo, intrigued, asks who among them is more powerful, Antares gives a scornful snort, dismisses the question as ridiculous, and asserts with absolute confidence that his own power far surpasses the other. Elsewhere, the scene transitions to Ba's courtyard, where Bai and Ming sit next to each other in deep cultivation, their bodies continuously releasing intense golden energy that spreads outward in waves. A short distance away, Lin Moyo's third master observes them carefully and remarks that achieving level 96 is the true threshold for beginning to comprehend the laws. He adds that once they make this breakthrough, the overall power of the Shangxia Empire and humanity as a whole will increase dramatically. As soon as he finishes speaking, a dazzling surge of golden radiance erupts from Bai and Ming, shooting straight up into the sky, accompanied by a vast and overwhelming burst of energy that rapidly expands across the surrounding region. The sheer pressure is incredibly powerful, to the extent that even elders far away can sense it, leaving them utterly astonished, as they come to understand that both Bai and Ming have successfully completed their breakthrough. In many other places, senior figures also perceive this surge of power and comment that the two have finally stepped beyond that crucial boundary, signaling the dawn of a new age for humankind. Feeling the strength surging within him, Bai bursts into hearty laughter and proudly proclaims that he has at last achieved success, attributing their rapid rise to level 96 entirely to Lin. Ming, sensing the transformation in his own abilities, speaks in a calm yet solemn tone, declaring that Lin is truly a gift to humanity, his words carrying profound significance, as if acknowledging that a monumental turning point has now begun for everyone. Soon after, the narrative shifts back to Lin Moyo, who has already arrived within the Clan Mountains. Moving steadily through the sharp and uneven peaks, he calmly remarks that after parting ways with Antares, the time has come for him to finish the final segment of the dungeon. Despite the ferocious winds roaring around him from all directions, his steps remain unwavering and controlled. The currents are so fierce that even a team of human professionals finds it extremely difficult to move forward, with some of them nearly losing balance as the storm threatens to sweep them away. Amidst the chaos, one individual suddenly notices Lin Moyo walking alone and cries out in astonishment, questioning whether he truly plans to conquer the final dungeon on his own. The others turn their attention toward him, and as they observe more carefully, recognition dawns upon them. Their expressions stiffen as they realize the identity of that lone figure. Without slowing down, Lin Moyo presses onward and soon reaches the final dungeon of the clan shrine. Standing composed before it, he quietly states that he has at last arrived. Moments later, the same group struggles their way to the entrance, still breathing heavily, before they can fully react. Lin Moyo is abruptly transported into the dungeon, disappearing right before their eyes. Stunned, they stand frozen and confirm among themselves that their assumption was correct, that man was indeed General Lin Moyo. The very instant Lin Moyo enters the dungeon, he begins clearing it without delay, heightening his awareness as he detects the presence of elemental spirits scattered within. In a steady tone, he notes that each of the 4 directions across the plains is protected by a corresponding elemental spirit. Upon sensing the presence of a level 78 fire commander, he explains that the first phase of the dungeon requires defeating these elemental commanders. Without the slightest pause, Lin Moyo summons his headless horseman, ordering it to manifest and strike down the fire commander. As soon as the headless horseman appears, it surges forward at top speed, immediately activating its skill. With a single devastating blow, it annihilates the fire commander and continues its relentless charge. Watching this, Lin Moyo calmly remarks that everything is unfolding exactly as anticipated, and that the enemies here no longer pose any real danger to him. At that moment, a system notification appears before Lin Moyo, informing him that he has defeated a level 78 fire commander, earned 32 million experience points, and obtained a fire key. Noticing the fire key, Lin Moyo swiftly catches it and says with a faint smile that it is now time to collect all 4 keys, before immediately instructing the headless horseman to keep advancing. As time passes, the scene transitions to a later moment where Lin Moyo has already gathered all 4 keys, having defeated every elemental spirit within the dungeon. Looking at the keys in his possession, he remarks that it appears he can now move on to the next phase. As he speaks, he stores the keys away and proceeds forward without hesitation. Before long, Lin Moyo arrives directly before the Clan Divine Palace. Gazing at the massive structure, he feels a trace of doubt and wonders whether this is truly the Clan Divine Palace. Stepping closer, he reaches the main entrance and notices several indentations designed to hold specific items. After examining them carefully, he realizes that they are intended for the keys. Without delay, Lin Moyo retrieves the elemental keys and inserts them into the slots, stating that this should be enough. The moment the keys fit into place, the enormous gate begins to move. Gradually, the doors swing open completely, and as they do, Lin Moyo's eyes immediately lock onto a frozen figure standing within, causing him to feel a slight sense of unease. The thick layer of ice encasing the creature begins to fracture and break apart, revealing a pair of glowing eyes beneath. In the next instant, the ice shatters entirely as the creature spreads its wings and releases a thunderous roar. Standing before Lin Moyo is the Clan Giant Eagle, a world-level boss at level 85, possessing 1 million strength, 1,200,000 agility, 800,000 spirit, and 1,200,000 constitution. This formidable entity is capable of unleashing devastating elemental attacks and possesses special traits that render it immune to fire, wind, water, and lightning. The moment our protagonist catches sight of the Clan Giant Eagle standing before him, he instantly draws out his scythe and activates his gathering force ability without hesitation. Fixing his gaze on the massive creature, he declares, "It's only a level 85 world boss. I'll be the one to bring you down myself." As the gathering force skill comes into effect, an intense surge of energy begins to build around him, and its emblem appears clearly upon his face. Yet in that exact instant, the Clan Giant Eagle lunges toward him at incredible speed. With its claws fully extended, it dives forward, attempting to seize him. But the very moment our protagonist perceives the attack, he reacts instantly by triggering the god-slaying ability. As soon as the skill is unleashed, he swings his scythe in one fluid motion, cutting the charging eagle neatly into 2 halves. With just a single blow, the giant eagle is cleaved apart and utterly annihilated. The instant it falls, a system alert appears before him, announcing that he has defeated the Clan Giant Eagle and awarding him 12 million experience points. Simultaneously, he acquires 4 items: Kunlun Flame Great Blade, Clan Storm Battle Armor, Clan Thunder Ring, and Clan Ice Bracelet. Upon seeing these items, our protagonist promptly stores them within his inventory. Observing the aftermath, he remarks, "So this must be the legendary clan set." While each piece alone doesn't possess remarkable attributes, it is said that when assembled completely, the set can greatly amplify elemental power. Even so, he notes that it holds little value for him personally, though it could prove highly beneficial to humanity. Just as he finishes speaking, a faint ringing sound echoes from behind him. His focus immediately shifts, and as he turns around, he discovers a door standing there. Studying it carefully, he appears mildly astonished and murmurs, "This presence, it carries a divine aura." I wonder which god resides here. As his words fade, he steps forward. And at the very moment he moves, the door slowly swings open. He proceeds inside, and instantly, dazzling golden lightning bursts forth with overwhelming brilliance. In mere moments, Lin Moyo steps through the doorway and finds himself in a completely unfamiliar realm. Before him stands a spacious house encircled by blooming cherry blossom trees. Suspended from the branches of those cherry blossoms is the very object that had produced the sound Lin Moyo heard earlier. Taking in everything before him, Lin Moyo remarks, "What an astonishingly beautiful sight." At that instant, a figure materializes and, gazing at Lin Moyo, says, "Greetings, young human. I am Clan, the supreme deity of the Clan Mountains." The moment Lin Moyo lays eyes on this elder, he is shaken by the immense aura of power. He senses it clearly and thinks, a great deity, an existence surpassing even high-ranking gods, comparable to a peak expert, just one step away from becoming a super god among humanity. He never imagined that such a being would exist within the Clan's divine palace. Without any delay, Lin Moyo bows deeply and respectfully says, "Human divine General Lin Moyo pays his respects to the great deity Clan." Observing Lin Moyo's respectful demeanor, the elder responds calmly, "There is no need for such formalities. It has been ages since I last conversed with anyone. It is rare to encounter someone here, so stay and speak with me for a while." Upon hearing this, Lin Moyo replies, "Of course. What would you like to discuss?" The mysterious elder offers no reply to Lin Moyo's question. After hearing his words, he merely gazes ahead at the sky, remaining completely silent. Witnessing this, Lin Moyo begins to feel puzzled. Could it be that this great deity did not hear him, or has he become lost in his own memories? With that thought in mind, Lin Moyo softly addresses the elder, his voice carrying a trace of melancholy. "Senior, that war. It must have been extremely brutal, wasn't it?" The instant those words reach him, the elder's focus shifts directly onto Lin Moyo. Fixing his gaze on him, he speaks in a steady tone. "You are aware of certain things. The cost we bore was immense, and this world itself suffered an equally devastating price." Then, as he lightly touches the bell-shaped artifact hanging among the cherry blossoms, he continues, "I understand that many questions weigh on your mind, but at present, you do not possess the qualification to learn those truths." Hearing this, Lin Moyo's expression turns solemn as he asks, "Great deity, what level of power must one reach to be considered worthy of knowing?" After hearing the question, the elder studies Lin Moyo intently before replying in a composed manner. "When you comprehend and take control of a law, mastering a law signifies entering the realm just one step short of becoming a super god." Upon hearing this, Lin Moyo becomes puzzled, astonished, and slightly unsettled. Noticing his reaction, the elder gives a faint smile and says, "I have encountered countless powerful individuals. Yet, young one, you are exceptional as well. You have already cleared the dungeon's final trial. I have a favor I wish to ask of you." Hearing this, Lin Moyo grows somewhat tense and a bit uneasy, but he still responds, "Please tell me, as long as it does not bring harm to the human race." The elder smiles and says to Lin Moyo, "After all, I was once an ally of your human race, a companion who stood with them through life and death. I want you to travel to the deepest layer of the ancient battlefield, to the Azure Dragon Sea beneath the wild continent, and recover something for me." Upon hearing this request, Lin Moyo immediately reacts with surprise and asks, "What exactly is it?" The elder fixes his gaze on Lin Moyo and answers with seriousness, "My wife's divine spark." Then, turning his eyes toward the cherry blossoms, he continues in a voice filled with emotion, "My wife and I were unlike other deities. We did not ascend naturally, we attained godhood through a twist of fate. Before that, we were members of the human race. In that war, she fell in battle, and her divine spark dropped into the Azure Dragon Sea, sinking deep to the ocean floor. These blossoms were planted at the very moment she fell." Hearing this revelation, Lin Moyo is completely stunned and thinks in disbelief. So the great deity Kunlun was once human. The elder then speaks again, his tone heavy with sorrow. Retrieving her divine spark should have been my duty as her husband. However, my true body remains in a deep slumber, so I have no choice but to entrust this task to you. This is the only thing I can still do for her. Hearing this, Lin Moyo smiles gently and replies, Senior, please be at ease. I will certainly help you recover your wife's divine spark. As soon as Lin Moyo gives his word, the artifact hanging from the cherry blossom branches the one that had been chiming. Like a bell floats toward him. The elder places it into Lin Moyo's hands and says, This is her life-bound weapon. Take it with you. If it comes within 100 kilometers of her divine spark, it will resonate. The moment Lin Moyo receives the artifact, a system notification appears. Sacred Sound Wind Chime, a mythical grade weapon, belonging to the god of sacred sound. As soon as Lin Moyo realizes its nature, he is utterly astonished and thinks, This is the weapon of the god of sacred sound. After a brief pause, the elder opens the palace doors. He then retrieves some clan snowgrass from within and hands it over to Lin Moyo, saying, These shall be your rewards. I believe you have already encountered them before. The instant Lin Moyo lays eyes on the clan's snowgrass, he is utterly stunned, because beyond the palace doors stretches, taking in the sheer abundance, Lin Moyo exclaims in amazement. Such concentrated life force, it's clan snowgrass. There's so much of it. There must be tens of thousands here. And there's even a snowgrass king. What kind of power could that possess? Hearing his reaction, the elder smiles faintly and says, Ordinary snowgrass will likely no longer have any effect on you. However, that snowgrass king is prepared specifically for you. When you attempt to step into the half-step super god realm, it will prove extremely beneficial. Upon hearing this, Lin Moyo immediately expresses his gratitude, saying, Thank you greatly, esteemed deity. With this snowgrass, the strength of humanity can be elevated to an even greater height. As soon as their exchange concludes, the elder's figure gradually begins to fade before Lin Moyo's eyes, and he says, Very well, it is time for you to depart. In the very next instant, Lin Moyo is teleported away from that place. After his disappearance, the elder, now alone, speaks softly in sorrow. Yinner, I miss you deeply. The scene then shifts back to Lin Moyo, who has already been transported outside the dungeon. Upon arriving, he smiles lightly and says, I'm finally out. Kunlun Snowgrass, Kunlun set. Then, his expression suddenly turns serious. As he begins walking back toward the dungeon, he declares firmly, Since the clan set is so difficult to obtain, I'll gather it myself. As long as I keep farming, I can assemble a complete Kunlun set. Perhaps with it, I can help humanity forge a powerful army.